Well, before I begin, I want to share with you a letter that we just received a few minutes ago from President Biden. Dear David, congratulations on your extraordinary 32-year tenure at the helm of the American Jewish Committee. Throughout your storied career, the name David Harris has been synonymous with AJC. Members of the Jewish community are safer wherever they live. Our nation's relationship with Israel is strong, and AJC is positioned to address any global challenges facing the Jewish people in the years ahead, due in no small measure to your leadership. As you reflect on your career, I hope you take great pride in all of your achievements. Your work leaves a blueprint for future generations to follow, embodying the timeless Jewish concept, L'Dor Vador. Mazel Tov on your seminal contributions and your lasting legacy. Keep up the good fight. Sincerely, Joe Biden. David reminded me the other day that I was his first major hire after he became CEO of the American Jewish Committee. We've had a long ride together, going on 31 years. You'll understand if my reflections on my boss display a certain bias, but I think this bias is a common condition. It afflicts all of us. Lay leaders and staff colleagues, political figures across the United States and in dozens of foreign capitals, counterparts in other civil society organizations, investors in the cause of defending the Jewish people, scholars and journalists, religious figures of our own and other faiths, and everyday citizens too, the serving people in a favorite restaurant, the devoted driver in Israel, whose children's lives there's somehow room in David's brain to keep track of, the tour guide at a mosque in Abu Dhabi, the student mesmerized by one of his lectures, the retiree with whom he never loses touch, because, and here's the essence of David, even as he strides the world stage and confers with and is sought out by the great and the powerful, at his core, he takes things personally and connects with people personally, connects with them sincerely, forms lifelong friendships, is present in their lives, in so many hundreds, even thousands of lives. Over the years, I've been privileged to sit with David across from Nelson Mandela, two presidents of France, the foreign minister of Russia, the prime minister of Greece, the king of Bahrain, and American secretaries of state, and countless other world leaders. He has always made the right point, the definitive argument, the strongest defense of the Jewish people and of Israel, with sensitivity and perceptivity, with dignity and respect, and an unequaled command of facts. He is advocacy personified. But what has touched my soul even more, and I suspect many of us have precisely the same feeling, is David's humanity, the elaborate gift he arranges when a colleague passes a milestone anniversary, the emergency relief drives he launches when natural disasters or wanton violence tear into a vulnerable community in America or abroad, showing up, putting other responsibilities aside so he can show up at a memorial service for victims of a racist attack on Muslims in Germany, and in Israel leading a solidarity mission with AJC board members as Saddam Hussein's rockets are falling, and on the White House lawn for the signing of historic peace deals between Israel and Arab neighbors. But also showing up again and again where there are no cameras, where no history is being made. In my case, to be very personal, at the funerals of my mother and father, and at my and Esma's wedding in Washington, but also at who knows how many other weddings and funerals, brit milahs, and bar and bat mitzvahs, award ceremonies, retirement and anniversary parties of other AJC staff and board members and Jewish leaders from around the world. David is there. You can count on it, and you can always count on it when a Jew is victimized or threatened, or a friend of the Jewish people is threatened. Anywhere in the world, he will mobilize the machinery of AJC, the moral and political capital we have amassed under his leadership, and he will be relentless, and he will help. He's done it again and again for Soviet Jews and Ethiopian Jews seeking escape so they can practice our faith freely, for Eastern European Jews seeking some equal measure of restitution for the crimes of the Holocaust, for the victims of anti-Semitism and their families seeking justice and seeking protection as attacks rise everywhere, for brave and righteous non-Jewish allies seeking to advance understanding in societies weighed down by intolerance. When Israel is under siege, physically or intellectually, under rocket fire or terrorist attack, or under political fire in international forums or the media or on college campuses, there is no voice rising in its defense more compelling, more credible, more effective than David's. For unshakable love of Israel, belief in the necessity and the miracle of Israel is in David's core, as is his excitement, really his ecstasy, as a proud Jew whose family bore the scars of our people in the last century at being alive in this particular moment of Jewish history to witness and play a role in safeguarding Israel's rebirth. And not just its rebirth, not just Israel's existence, but Israel's full integration in the community of nations and its full integration in the Middle East. One of his guiding visions, and it has shaped our international and interreligious agendas for much of his tenure as CEO, is the achievement of true understanding, true peace, true brotherhood between Israel and its Arab and Muslim neighbors, all of its Arab and Muslim neighbors. The Abraham Accords breakthroughs we've been celebrating since 2020 and that our Global Forum plenary highlighted this morning were turning points in history, but the wide arc of that turn began decades ago in a gradual building of trust and confidence, year by year, visit by visit, across the Arab and Muslim world. Under David's leadership, AJC played a pioneering role in that process. The mission to advance peace between Israel and its neighbors, like so much of David's work, has made substantial progress. Signs of that progress are everywhere in this year's Global Forum. David Harris will continue this vital work, and he will continue to inspire us to fulfill his vision. For, as the Mishnah teaches us, he is not free to desist, nor are we. Thank you, David, for providing that vision, that wise leadership that has molded AJC into the unique and essential instrument it has become to articulate and defend the interests of the Jewish people, the values and the beauty of our tradition, the security and the wonder of Israel. Thank you for your wit, for your warmth, for your ceaseless creativity, for your infectious passion and energy. My mentor, my colleague, my frequent traveling companion, my friend, David, I simply can't thank you enough. Now, having highlighted David's powerful commitment to the security and well-being of the world's only Jewish state, let us hear from a few of AJC's most distinguished friends who will offer their own thoughts on what David Harris means for Israel. Thank you.